Yeah, that's right. The document is called Your Metro, The Way Forward, and it's intended to be both a strategic planning tool as well as an annual assessment tool. And the Metropolitan Area Transit Authority wants your feedback. Between now and November 4th, you can view the plan at the Washington Metropolitan Area Transit Authority main website, that is WMATA.com, and make comments through that period. And then hearings are set for October 30th. Those are both going to be in person at the Northern Virginia Transportation Commission headquarters in Arlington and online. You can check the website for more details about that. Well, Metro is the second busiest transit system in the entire country, carrying 668,000 people on an average weekday across a network of 6 rail lines, 98 stations, and 125 bus routes. Now, for this year, Metro says they've maintained 85% or better customer satisfaction rates, reduced crime by over 50%, reduced fare evasion by 82%, and identified $532 million in cost savings. Metro executives say they want to continue these positive trends and provide the best value as well as make the best use of resources. Metro Board of Directors will vote on this strategic assessment plan by the end of the year. From the Rockville Metro Station, I'm David G., Fox 5.
Unfortunately, there was a fatality here this afternoon, just a couple of hours ago, here at Liberty Mountain Ski Resort in Carroll County, Pennsylvania, just a couple of miles north of the Maryland-Pennsylvania state line. Emmitsburg is just down the road that way where the victim lived. Gettysburg up about 8 miles to the north of us. The victim has been identified as 47-year-old Roberto Gonzalez. He's a 10-year employee of Vail Resorts, of Liberty Mountain Ski Resort, I should say. And he has worked as a mechanic, started as a lift operator, and past few years has worked as a mechanic. He was operating a snowmobile in the far eastern part of the resort. We're in the far western part. I've skied here and do know the area, so it was in an area that likely wouldn't be open during the week because of fewer crowds and fewer lift and support personnel. But he was ferrying a part on a snowmobile up to the top of the mountain for one of the lift towers and lost control of the machine somehow and either hit his head or turned over and was pinned underneath. I say apparently because we don't know for sure. We have not actually been officially briefed. There's been no press conference here by either Liberty Mountain or Vail Resorts. We've talked to the communications manager. She did issue a short cursory press release naming the victim, giving his age, how long he had worked at the resort, but that's all the information we have. We certainly expect to hear from Colorado-based Vail Resorts shortly, and if we do, we'll get back to you. Reporting live from Carroll County, Pennsylvania at Liberty Mountain Ski Resort, I'm David G. Yes, I'm standing outside a very windy, very blustery, very cold U.S. Capitol in Capitol Hill today on this President's Day. Happy President's Day, everyone. And you can probably see a pile of snow behind me right where those people are walking right now. Here's the news flash for you. We're going to hear more about it in weather. We're going to hear more about it in the next couple of days, but there is more wind, more cold, more wind chills, more snow, more winter in general on the way, courtesy of the North Pole. Yes, we heard about it around inauguration, the polar vortex. Well, it's delivering its not so welcome gift yet again. North Pole known for Santa and giving gifts. This is not a gift we want. So the cold air swoops in across Greenland, Canada, on into occasionally into the lower 48. It's going to deliver 30 below wind chills to the Dakotas, 20 below to Minnesota and Wisconsin, and then it's going to continue its trek all the way from Montana to Maine to Maryland to the DMV. So just a heads up for all you parents, for you commuters, Wednesday afternoon into Thursday morning, you can't expect snow, you can't expect winds, you can't expect potentially record low wind chills for this time of year, and all of it not very welcome. But 2 words to keep in mind again this week. We heard about it at the inauguration. It forced the Trump's inauguration inside to the Capitol Rotunda there from the mall around the corner, and the polar vortex is coming our way again. We'll hear more about it in weather, but heads up, there could be some school closings, some commuter troubles come Wednesday afternoon and Thursday. Reporting live from the Capitol, I'm David G. Well, the director of the National Transportation Safety Board, who's handling the investigation on site, says he is ruling nothing in, he's ruling nothing out.
We did hear that the FAA has confirmed that the flight was traveling at an altitude of 10,000 feet. It was cleared to go down to an altitude of 8,000 feet. It was in a holding pattern for O'Hare International Airport. That's about 50 miles from here. After that, it's purely a matter of speculation. Something did drive the plane down into the ground. There's about an 8-foot crater where the plane burrowed in. And what caused it to do that? Wind shears, bad weather. We've had driving rain, high rate of winds. It could have been any number of things. We've had over 200 aftershocks measuring 2.0 on the Richter scale or greater, and about 2 or 3 of those we're told have been 4, 5 to 5 range. So it's a little bit of a scary feeling. In fact, more than a little bit of a scary feeling, because we have a number of buildings around us. You don't know how much those have been structurally weakened, and certainly with that kind of seismic activity, there is chance for more damage. Now, last night when we talked to you, it was somewhere in the minus 7-degree range. Right now, we're on the positive side of 0. That's about 4 degrees. And that was warm enough, I might add, for the Holidazzle Parade. This is a parade that's been going on since Thanksgiving. These faithful, hardy souls come out night after night with their marching bands and their floats and everything else to entertain the crowds, trying to attract people downtown Minneapolis, except that a couple of weeks ago, the temperatures were in the 30s and 40s. So the last couple of nights when temperatures have plunged down into minus 20 and minus 30-degree wind chill range, they actually had to cancel last night's parade. But it's not really the news flash that it's so cold in Minnesota this time of year. What is so surprising is the suddenness of the change.
If you're a film fan like I am, then this is about the most exciting place to be, here at the 69th Academy Awards, right on the red carpet. You know, ever since the list of nominees was announced, the 11th of last month, I've been poring over these nominees just about every day in one way or another. But I realize not everybody may fall into that category. So I thought what we do to start with, Stan, is go over the most important category. Here now is a look at the Best Picture nominees.
Good morning, Amy, and good morning, everyone, and welcome to sunny Florida. You know, I've been coming down to Florida for a lot of years as a television reporter, and before that, I actually lived on both the Gulf and the Atlantic coast. And I've been to the Keys before, but I never made it all the way down to Key West. It's not a particularly quick trip, but the spirit and the flavor of the Keys has now become a little more accessible. We're going to show you that place right now, Key West at SeaWorld. Well, if after seeing all that, you're ready to make a little late summer vacation escape to see Barnum's Kaleidoscape, there's something you should know. The Bay Area box office is now closed, but the good news is the show will go on, and a little closer to home at that. Barnum's Kaleidoscape comes August 11th to the East parking lot at the Mall of America. How many times have you ever said to yourself, boy, I wish I'd learned how to do that when I was a kid? Well, thousands of kids who come to Vail, Colorado every year are avoiding saying that at least about one subject, and that's the sport of skiing. What do you say we head to class? Go down and peek in on the Vail Ski School. I don't know whether you have made your New Year's Eve plans yet, but I guarantee you plenty of other people have. You know, from the White House to New York, Times Square, from Las Vegas to Los Angeles, lots of people are saying their New Year's Eve party is going to be the biggest and the best. Well, that's pretty hard to quantify, but I guarantee you which party is going to be the longest. It's going to be right here, and here's a preview. Jamaica was once home to scores of great plantations and great plantation homes, and many of them have disappeared over the years, but several remain, the most prominent of which is Rose Hall. It's a great house, isn't it? Actually, that's what it's called, a great house. And this was the home of Annie Palmer, this place, and if you're not familiar with Jamaican legend, she was reported to have many, many young lovers here, and many of them had pretty short lives. In fact, they are reported to have died after they came here for their little liaison. So a peculiar kind of love in the air here at Rose Hall, and we're going to visit it for Valentine's Day. Let's go in and explore. Ha ha! Works every time. Reporting from the Wilds Golf Course in Prior Lake, Minnesota, I'm David G. for First Business. Austrian actor Arnold Schwarzenegger has made a lot of movies before, but none have been more successful than Terminator 2. Well, T2 is back, but this one you won't find in movie theaters. No, this one, T2 3D The Attraction, is at Universal Studios in Hollywood. Hi, I'm David G., and I'm on location with Grandpa Jones here. We're at the Grand Ole Opry in Nashville, Tennessee. Stay tuned. We're going to give you the latest in the entertainment scene from New York to Hollywood and points in between. You know, for everything that changes, some things remain the same, and so it is with the Grand Ole Opry here. In fact, it's been on the air continuously since 1925. Well, having said that, you also have to say this. Most of the 5 million Americans who will set sail on a cruise ship this year probably care more about the restaurants and the entertainment than they do whether or not the ship is a good steward of the environment. But if the number of cruise ship passengers is going to continue to grow, cruise ship lines are going to have to offer sterling reputations as well as sterling ships.
You know, almost from the time that Columbus stumbled onto these islands back in the 1600s, they've been a haven. Later for plundering pirates of the Caribbean, now for snorkelers, scuba divers, offshore bankers, and duty-free shoppers. If you'd like to make believe you're on safari and a trip to Africa is not in your travel plans anytime soon, the experience is as close as the edge of Africa at Busch Gardens in Tampa Bay. One of the challenges facing marketing people here at the resort at Summerlin is trying to convince would-be Las Vegas travelers that this is a worthy destination, even though, as you can see, there's not a neon light in sight. But if you do get tired of all the swimming pools and the cascading waterfalls and the rejuvenating spa treatments, the Las Vegas Strip is just a quick shuttle trip away. If you plan to do much of this while you're on board, the bad news is you can run up quite a tab. The good news is many of the other things, the best things, in fact, in my mind, don't cost extra. That includes the blue water, the blue skies, and of course, plenty of sunshine. So you still ask yourself what there is to do aboard a cruise ship? Well, if you're willing to expand your horizons just a little bit, so to speak, you just might find the possibilities are almost endless. In fact, there's so much to do here, and this thing is so big, you just might find yourself getting lost. And what Disney celebration would be complete without some spectacular entertainment? This is a little sample of a twice-daily street parade called Tapestry of Nations, featuring some articulated puppets. Wonderful, aren't they? That's right, the Mall. The first section of light rail in the Twin Cities is expected to run 11.4 miles from downtown Minneapolis here to the Mall of America in Bloomington. Before that can happen, though, by October in the year 2003, a lot of other things have to happen. The next item on the light rail trail of construction, the awarding of an $80 million contract to one of 5 companies who are vying to build the first 22 light rail cars. And that decision is expected by July 26th. Reporting from the Mall of America in Bloomington, I'm David G.